Well, good evening or morning or afternoon, whichever time of day it is that you are doing this practice. Thank you for coming to your mat. I'm going to start off in a child's pose, please. So place your forehead on the mat, bring the hips back towards your heels. You can keep your knees together or apart. I prefer to keep mine apart. Arms can be out in front of you, palms face down, or back behind you, palms face up. But wherever your arms are, make sure that there's a slight bend so that your elbows can relax. Then prioritize your forehead on the mat over the hips on your heels. So this is much more important than this. If you haven't done so already, close your eyes. Some people like to move their hips around a little bit. It's perfectly okay if you like to do that. You can move your upper body too. And then when you're ready to, come to a place of stillness. So one of the great things about doing online yoga is that you can take a break whenever you want to. You can just pause the video and then you can resume the class later. And if you choose to take a break, you're welcome to take this pose, or you can choose to lie on your back instead, whichever works best for you. And know that I do give a lot of alignment cues, but those are just suggestions. And if you know of any modifications that I haven't offered, you're welcome to do those as well. Wherever you're at with the breath, exhale your air out. And when you're ready, inhale through the nose, feel your belly get big. And then take a gentle sigh. Stay here for a few more breaths. Then whenever you're ready to, inhale. Press one palm into your mat, then the other, and push yourself up onto all fours so that you're in a tabletop position. Step your knees in or out, whichever you need, so that your knees are in line with the hips. I also usually need to step mine back a little bit. And spread your fingertips out wide. Keep the gaze at the front of the mat. Inhale, push your mat away. Look up towards the ceiling. Drop the belly down. Lift your hips up so there's a big arch in the back, cow pose. Exhale, tuck your chin in, suck the belly up and in, around the spine for cat. On your own time, take some more of these cat-cow tilts. You can close your eyes if you'd like to. Then whenever you're ready, inhale to come back to tabletop position. Exhale, tuck your toes into the mat and lift your hips up high for an upside down V shape. This is downward facing dog. And for your first down dog, try to bend and straighten each leg. And once you're ready to, find a place of stillness. Your feet should be roughly about hips width distance apart, so visualize that you're able to put your head in between your feet. And take a deep bend in the knees. Keep that bend, but lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale from here, straighten the legs as best as you can. It's okay if they're slightly bent. Maybe one day your heels will come down to your mat. And glance briefly up at your hands. Hands about shoulder width distance apart. It's okay if it's just a guess. But spread your fingertips out nice and wide. And then bring the gaze back towards your feet and let your head be nice and loose. Whenever you're ready to, bend your knees and slowly start to walk your feet up towards your hands.
Once your feet are all the way up, exhale, let your body hang heavy over the legs. Then separate your feet about hips width distance apart. So if you take two fists, plant them nice and snug in between the feet. And walk your feet in or out so that your feet hug your fists. And then you can let your arms hang loose, or maybe you grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. And also interlace your fingers at the nape of your neck. Or you can reach behind your legs and reach for opposite elbows. Oh, it's not comfortable for me today. For this first one, try to keep the knees nice and bent. And then when you're ready to, you can start to straighten the legs as much as you can. Then on an inhale, place your hands on either the shins or the thighs. Keep the weight forward towards the balls of your feet and suck your belly up and in. You're going to bring your shoulders away from your ears. So it's like you're trying to, it's almost like shrugging your shoulders except the opposite direction. And then exhale, hang heavy in a forward fold. On an inhale, bend your knees and as slowly as you possibly can, roll all the way up to standing. And once you arrive, you can adjust your clothes if you need to. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders back down. Check to make sure that your feet are still about hips width distance apart. You can do that trick with the fists. Two fists together, plant them snug between the feet if you'd like to. Then on an inhale, shrug your shoulders back up towards your ears. Exhale, this time bring your arms up by your ears. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling. Then exhale, drop your shoulders down the back, but keep your arms up. Spread your fingertips nice and wide, and if you like to, you can close your eyes. I like to visualize that I'm a tree and my arms are like branches extending up to the sky. And if your eyes are closed, flutter your eyes open. Then on an inhale, start to look up, reach up, take just a little back bend. Exhale, hang heavy in a forward fold. From your forward fold, plant your palms into the mat and step your feet back to an upward push-up plank position. If this is too much on your hands, you're welcome to lower down to your forearms. Inhale, push your mat away. Exhale, lower halfway, tuck the elbows in, make a shelf for your ribs. Inhale, untuck the toes, start to straighten the elbows, gaze forward, upward facing dog. Well, you want to keep your legs lifted for this one, so a lot of times people will do this, but it's actually this with the legs lifted. And then exhale, hips up high, down dog. So that's one way to do the flow. I'm going to go over another one with you as well. Inhale, forward, upward, push-up, plank position. Exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes so that the top of your feet are on the mat. Then bring your legs all the way in together. Press the center of your chin to the mat, and then walk your arms back, your hands back rather, if you need to, so that you can squeeze your elbows closer together to make grasshopper wings. And then on an inhale, lift your upper body and keep the gaze down, cobra pose. Exhale, hips up high, down dog. Both are valid options for the flow. And if you know of another way to do it, you're welcome to do that too. Whenever you're ready to exhale the air out, Inhale through the nose. Then a sigh. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee towards nose. Silently slip your foot between the hands. Pivot your back heel down so your back foot's roughly at a 45-degree angle. You want to aim for the right knee being in line with the right ankle. It's okay if the alignment's not perfect. And step the right foot out to the right a few inches. Move your right hip back, left hip forward. And then on an inhale, slowly rise up into Warrior One. Keep your back leg nice and straight and strong. And then from the waist up, it's like that mountain pose that we did earlier. If you like, you can keep a soft gaze at a still point in front of you, or you can close your eyes, whichever works best for you. Inhale to reach up, look up, take a slight back bend. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your foot. Step your back foot in. You can readjust your hips if you like to, so right hip back, left hip forward. And then from here, start to straighten the right leg as best as you can. On an inhale, try to extend your spine forward, just like we did in that half lift. And then exhale, release your upper body. Let your head hang over the right leg. Pyramid pose. Rise back up into a Warrior One. And then exhale to peel open for a Warrior Two. So right arm forward, left arm back. Keep the back foot at about a 90-degree angle. And adjust your stance so that you have some space to sink nice and low, but still try to think about the right knee being in line with the right ankle. You glance over the right shoulder. Try to reach your arms in opposite directions. I like to rotate my wrists. I've been feeling doing that lately. Or you can choose stillness, whatever your preference is. And then exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Step your foot back and take yourself through a flow. Once you're in down dog, inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring the knee in towards your nose. Silently step the foot between your hands. Pivot your back heel down, so 45-degree angle. And then toe heel the left foot out to the left. Think left knee in line with left ankle. And this time it's going to be left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale to rise up for Warrior One, left side. Again, you have the same option to choose to find a still point in front of you or close your eyes. Open your eyes. Inhale, look up, reach up, take a back bend. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your foot. Step your back foot in. From here, start to straighten the left leg. If you need to, you can walk your left foot out a little more. This time, it's left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale to extend your spine forward. And then exhale, lower the upper body over the left leg. Whenever you're ready to, inhale to rise back up for Warrior One. Exhale, peel open Warrior Two. Left arm forward, right arm back. Make sure that you got some space to sink low into the hips, but that the left knee is roughly in line with the left ankle. Glance over the left shoulder. Same option, you can rotate your wrists or not. And then when you're ready to exhale, release your hands down to the mat and step your foot back and take yourself through a flow. Once you're in a down dog, exhale the air out. Inhale nice and deep through the nose. And then a gentle sigh like Bend your knees and slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. Once you arrive, exhale to hang heavy like we did in forward fold earlier. Inhale up for a half lift. Exhale, release into forward fold. Then from forward fold, check to make sure that your feet are hips width distance apart. Same trick with the fist works for this one. Then on an inhale, sit your hips low, upper body back, arms out in front of you, palms face down for chair pose. You want to keep your weight even in your feet. So for most people, that's going to mean rocking the weight back a little more towards the heels. Then suck your belly up and in as you bring the upper body back. If you're feeling a big arch in your back, then tilt your pelvis down and gaze forward. It's okay if this chair is not super low, or it can be really low, whatever your choice is. Eyes closed or open, soft gaze, something still. And then exhale, release into a forward fold. From forward fold, inhale, hips low, upper body back, arms in front of you, palms face down, second set of chair pose. If you like, you can stay here wherever feels like it's going to be a challenge for you, or you can challenge yourself more and lift your heels up, come up onto your tippy toes. Keep a gaze at something still or eyes closed, and the belly up and in. And then when you're ready, exhale to release into that forward fold. From your forward fold, plant your palms, step your feet back, and take yourself through a flow. Once you're in down dog, exhale your air out. Inhale through the nose, then sigh. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, silently step your foot between your hands. Pivot your back heel down. Inhale to rise up for warrior one. Exhale to peel open, warrior two. Glance over the right shoulder. And flip your right hand up. On an inhale, lean forward. Exhale, bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then the left hand is going to come down to your thigh for reverse warrior. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed as you reach up to the ceiling. Think warrior two from the waist down. If you like, you can either gaze off to the side, or you can look up towards the ceiling. Whatever your choice is, start to reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release your hands down to the mat, step your foot back, take yourself through a flow. From down dog, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee towards nose, silently step your foot between the hands. Inhale, rise up, warrior one, left side. Exhale, heel open, warrior two, left arm forward, right arm back. Gaze over your left shoulder. Flip your left palm up to the ceiling. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, left arm up, Right arm comes down to your calf. Same option to gaze to the side, or you can look up towards your left hand, but keep the shoulders relaxed. On an inhale, start to reach up. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat, step your foot back and take yourself through a flow. Once you're in a down dog, exhale your air out. Inhale through the nose. And then sigh. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, knee in towards the nose. Silently step your foot between your hands. Inhale, rise up like you were for warrior one. Then exhale to bring your hands rather, down to your hips. Glance down at the front of your mat as you start to shift your weight forward. And then lift your back leg up. Keep the knee bent at first. Flex your back toes in towards your face. As you lift your back leg up, lower the upper body down. Squeeze the belly. This will keep your core strong. And then from here, you can start to straighten your leg as much as you can. If you like, you can keep your hands here, or together at heart center, or arms behind you, palms face down, or by the ears, palms face one another. This is warrior three. Inhale to lift your back leg up, lower the upper body down. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat, lower the back foot down, but stay tented up onto the tippy toes. Inhale to rise up into high crescent lunge. It's just like warrior one, except the back heel is lifted. Keep the gaze forward at something still, or eyes closed. If you can, try to straighten the leg and squeeze it as tight as you can. Then exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Then you can either gaze off to the right side or drop your right hand down. Or my apologies, you can either gaze off to the right side or you can start to look behind you, back at your right hand. Your choice. If you like, stay here, or you can drop your right hand down and reach for the front of your thigh. Then left arm up to the ceiling if you'd like. If you choose to do this, try to reach up nice and high. Inhale back, high crescent lunge. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Lower your back leg all the way down and untuck your toes to the top of the foot's on the mat. Step your foot forward so that you have some space to really sink into this lunge. But you want to think right knee in line with right ankle. And you're going to feel the stretch along the back quadricep muscle. If you don't feel it, step your foot forward more, sink your hips lower. If you like, you can stay tented up on fingertips, or you can make fists. Whatever you choose, though, let your head be nice and heavy. And then when you're ready, exhale to shift your hips back so that the left hip comes over the left knee. And start to straighten the right leg. Keep the toes pointed at first. Walk your hands back so that the hands frame the knee. And tent up onto the fingertips. Try to really point the toes. If you do a lot of walking or driving, then sometimes this can really stretch out those muscles. And whenever you're ready to, lift the sole of your foot off of the mat so you flex the front toes in towards your face. You can adjust your stance a little bit if you need to. You can stay here if you'd like to. Keep the right knee as straight as you possibly can, but it's okay if it's a little bit bent. But if you want a little more, then on an inhale, try to extend the spine forward, just like we did in half lift earlier. And if you want even more, exhale, lower the upper body over the right leg for half splits. Hands can be any way that's comfortable for you. If you have a full split in your practice, it's not in mine today. You are welcome to try that. Be here for a few breaths. Up onto your fingertips. Exhale, as whichever way is going to work best for you. You come into a tabletop position. Then on your own time, take a few rounds of cat-cow tilts. So tuck your toes in, lift the hips up high for a down dog. From down dog, inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, bring a knee in towards your nose and silently step your foot between your hands. Pivot your back heel down. Inhale to rise up for warrior one, left side. Exhale, place your hands on your hips. Keep the gaze at the front of the mat. Then on an inhale, shift your weight forward so that the back foot lifts up off of the mat. Flex your toes in towards your face. You can keep the standing knee bent if you need to. But think back leg up, upper body down. And then when you're ready to, try to straighten the leg. It's okay if you're not feeling ready for that today. You can keep your hands here or head together at heart center or back behind you, palms face down, or arms in front of you, palms face one another. But try to think back leg up, upper body down. It's okay if it's just a visual. And then exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Release your back leg down. Inhale to rise up, high crescent lunge, just like warrior one, but with the back foot lifted. When you arrive, find a place that's still to keep a soft gaze or close your eyes, your choice. And when you're ready to, exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Gaze either off to the left or over the left shoulder, your choice. Reach your arms far apart. If you like, stay here or drop your back arm down and grab the front of your back thigh. If you choose this, try to bring your right arm up by your ear. And then on an inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, come back to high crescent lunge. Inhale, reach up, look up, take a back bend. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Lower your back leg all the way down. Untuck your toes so the top of the foot's on the mat. Some people like to double up on their mat for this pose as well. Then adjust your stance if you need to so that you can let your hips sink nice and low and get a good stretch in that back quadricep muscle. Hands any way that's comfortable. And let your head hang nice and heavy. So to shift your hips back so that the right hip comes over the right knee. Start to straighten your left leg. Keep the toes pointed and then walk your hands back so that your hands frame your knee. Keep your hands any way that's comfortable. I'm doing fists right now, but you can also choose to be on your palms or tinted up on fingertips. And really try to point those toes. And then whenever you're ready to, lift the sole of your front foot up off your mat so you can flex your toes in towards your face. Adjust your stance if you need to. Then on an inhale, extend your spine forward. Stay here if you like, or you can exhale to lower over the left leg. Breathe into that stretch along the left hamstring. Up in whatever way works best for you, come into tabletop position. And whenever you're ready to, take a few rounds of cat-cow tilts. And when you're ready, exhale. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up high for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee and bring your right shin behind your hands. Lower your back leg all the way down and untuck your toes so the top of the foot is on the mat. Then adjust your stance if you need to. It's okay if your right knee is at a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle, or a different one, whichever works best for you. Tent up onto your fingertips and move the right hip back, left hip forward. Then on an inhale, if you like, you can stay here and just try to keep your spine as straight as possible. Spine's never perfectly straight. Or you can exhale to lower the upper body down and then find a place for your forehead to rest. If this pose, this half pigeon pose, doesn't work for you, you can choose to lie on your back for a figure four. So for figure four, come to lying on your back. You're going to press the sole of your left foot into the mat. And then bend the right knee and place the right ankle just above the left knee. And try to push your right knee back. If you like, you can stay here, or you can interlace your fingers behind your left leg and try to pull your hips towards your chest. Some people like to try to straighten their leg. Whichever works best for you. I personally prefer half pigeon pose, but everybody's different. This is a hip opener pose, and our hips do a lot for us all throughout our lives. They carry so many day-to-day motions. And for some people, they can carry some stored trauma, but not for everybody. But just know that whatever it is that you're experiencing, that experience is valid. And let yourself breathe through that. Keep the exhales longer than your inhales. Take about 5 more breaths here. Then on an inhale, press one palm into your mat, then the other, and push your upper body back up. If you like, you can take yourself through a flow, or you can come to down dog, whatever your choice is. Once you're in a down dog, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bend the left knee, place the left shin behind the hands. Lower the back leg down and untuck your toes so the top of the foot's on the mat. You have the same option to do figure 4 on this side as well. But for half pigeon, tent up onto your fingertips. Try to keep a nice long spine. And if you're ready to, feel free on an exhale, lower the upper body down. Find a place for forehead to rest. Wherever you're at in your breath, exhale the air out. Once you're empty, inhale through the nose, feel your belly get big. And then on the exhale, hum like You can take some more of those if you like to, or not. But keep the exhales nice and long. Notice if what you experience on this side is similar or different to the other side. Take about 5 more breaths here. Then on an inhale, press one palm into your mat, then the other. Push yourself all the way up. And then come into whatever seated position is going to be the most comfortable for you. Whether it's cross-legged, in a half lotus or a full lotus, or you can sit back on your heels. Whatever your choice is. You can place your hands on your thighs, palms face up, or face down, or you can place them together at heart center, or at your third eye. Or if you know of another place you can place them, you're welcome to do that as well. And keep the eyes closed, spine nice and long. And just notice your breath and notice where your mind goes. And then slowly open your eyes, come back into the space. And press the soles of your feet into your mat. You're going to lower your upper body all the way down. And step your feet in so much so that you can touch the backs of your heels with your fingertips. You want to think knees, hips width distance apart. It's okay if it's not perfect, but still try to visualize that. Sometimes it helps with alignment. And then on your next exhale, lift your hips up nice and high. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Or bridge. to squeeze your glutes. Lift your hips up as high as you can. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. Lower your hips down. You can keep your feet where they are. Just breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Then on your next exhale, lift the hips up again. Tuck your chin in. Second set of bridge pose. Try to squeeze your glutes and lift your hips up high. Hold this time just for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Lower your hips down. If you'd like to, you can go for a third set of bridge, or you can choose to go for a wheel. If you've never done wheel before, watch me do it first, and then get into the pose. So for wheel, you're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders. The fingertips are going to face you, so face you like this. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. And then on an exhale, you're going to lift everything up. Push the mat away. Breathe through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Release. Lower your upper body all the way down. And once you're all the way down, hug your knees into your chest. Start to rock back and forth. Try to reach for opposite elbows. Then rock so far forward, you come all the way up to sitting. Bring your legs out in front of you. Flex your toes in towards your face. And then you can do what I'm doing, where you take one hand and then the other end. Try to move your glutes out of the way so that you're on your sits bones. Or you can shift your hips around, whichever works best for you. So flex your toes in towards your face. If you need to keep your knees bent, that's perfectly fine. Then on an inhale, lift the arms up by the ears. Exhale, lower your upper body down. Grab on to your feet. If you have a strap, then sometimes that can be helpful for this pose. I don't carry straps on me personally. If you like, stay here. Or on an inhale, pull your upper body forward. Exhale, lower your upper body over the legs. If the knees are bent, that's okay. But if you've lowered down and you want a little bit more, you can start to bend your elbows out to the sides. I like to interlace my fingers behind my feet. You don't have to. But you can bend your elbows out to the sides and pull your head forward. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Release. Inhale to slowly rise all the way up. Take an exhale. Arrive for just a second. And press the soles of your feet into your mat. Arms out in front of you, palms face one another. And whenever you're ready to, on an inhale, flex the toes in towards your face, lift the shins up so that they're parallel to the mat boat. Keep your gaze forward. If you like to, you can stay here, or you can point the toes, start to straighten the legs, bring the arms by the ears, full boat. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, slowly start to lie down. Once you're lying down, hug your knees into your chest. Reach for opposite elbows. Rock side to side for one moment. And then straighten your left leg. Lower your left leg down. Place the left hand just below the right knee. Let your right arm fall out to the side. It can be off to the side or up by your ear, whichever your choice is. And then allow the right knee to fall out to the left. If you need to adjust your grip, you can also place your hand on top of your IT band here. That's the side of your thigh. If you like, you can gaze over the shoulder or up at the ceiling, whatever your choice is. Breathe into the gentle twist. Then on an inhale, come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Exhale. Then take one more inhale. Exhale, lower the right leg down. And then whenever you're ready to, this time you're going to bring the left knee out to the right. Left hand comes either to the side or up by the ear. You can place your right hand wherever is going to work best for you. The gaze can be up at the ceiling or over the left shoulder, your choice. And on an inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower your legs down. And press the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall apart, arms by your sides, palms face up. Some people like to put blocks or pillows underneath their knees for this one. I personally don't care much for that, but everyone's different. You can stay here with your arms by your sides, or if you like, you can place one hand on your heart, other hand on your belly. Just breathe here in this goddess pose. And then whenever you're ready to, extend your legs straight out in front of you. Let the tops of your feet fall open apart. Arms by your sides, palms face up. Eyes closed for final Savasana pose. You can choose to keep your arms by your sides or place one hand on your heart, other hand on your belly. Whichever your choice is. Take nice slow exhales. And then on the inhales, you want to feel the belly rise up. I invite you to stay in this pose for as long as you like to. However, I am about to end the video in just a moment. I do teach this as a donation-based class, and I will include my Venmo and PayPal information in the description down below, as well as the email. So if you're able to donate, thank you so much. If not, thank you for your practice, and I encourage you to keep coming as much as you can. I hope you have a lovely rest of whatever time of day it is, or night. Blessed be. Namaste.